New for the spring of 2022 is a series we all now know and love. The British are back. Sporting Mazda MX-5s and touring cars just as over the winter, today marks the new beginning of a new season with BSR and Pit Stop TV. That said, JP, we're beginning things right back in Britain, right back at one of the best racetracks, I think, in the world, but also this small little island nation. Of course, Silverstone circuit kicking things off. We're not on the full layout. We're not on the national layout that we were on over the winter. We are on the international layout today. A little bit longer, a little more racing room, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Silverstone circuit. I am Andrew Cardinale IV. JP Costa joins me alongside today as per usual. And JP, welcome back to BSR. And welcome back to Silverstone.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back. I definitely missed these guys, and well, we're definitely kicking off with one of the best racing circuits we have in the world, one of the best we have in in Britain, in the United Nations, in the United Kingdom. It's gonna be a fantastic race, Andrew. The cars, the drivers have prepared a lot. We have a lot of drivers ready for it. As you mentioned, a different layout as well. It's just gonna be a fantastic race today.
And it's not just going to be a fantastic race, it'll be a fantastic 4 races as per usual. That same format does return 4 15-minute races throughout the course of the afternoon, and that will suffice for our racing needs. Let's go trackside, let's go sim side technically, and get a look at how things are looking. And look at that. I think that looks pretty darn close to the B-roll this time. It is a nice, crisp morning in sim, and we are ready for some racing. Let's first look at some weather. You see 65 degrees in the air, 68 on the racetrack. Nice, calm winds. It is a good day for racing at Silverstone. And let's take a look then at the track. As I mentioned, it is a different layout than we had over the winter. It is not the full layout. It is not the national layout. It is the international layout. You start off headed down the, same home stretch as the Formula 1 drivers use, and I'm sure Formula 2 and so on and so forth as the full circuit as it's been redone. Headed into Abbey for turn 1, then it's Farm, and really your first braking zone is going to be Village. Now you might have to brush the brakes into Abbey just to set the nose of these Mazda Miatas, but really, JP, the first time these guys have really got to get on the binders is turn 3 for Village, and things get really, really tight in there. There's not a whole lot of room off to the left side of the racetrack before you come back around the loop down to Chapel.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, they're going to be taking a little bit more speed into Village, into turn 3, but obviously then another big braking zone, I guess you can say, down into Chapel. Then obviously the massive hang straight. And Andrew, from one of my favorite overtaking corners, I guess you can say, even for, the drivers here today, it's such a memorable corner, turn 6, that complex, just overtaking around the outside of Stowe is just so amazing. I'm pretty sure we're going to see plenty of moves around the outside today.
Yeah, Stowe's going to be exciting, especially with these Miatas. I'm unsure exactly how 7 and 8, how that little chicane into club are going to do, but there's going to be some definite open passing opportunities on this racetrack, and I think that's why they want to go for this international layout to kick this season off, give these guys some opportunities to make some passes and to have some fun racing. Let's take a look at the full season schedule. Haven't even gotten that far yet. Here it is, the Trophy Tuesday spring schedule. We open today at Silverstone. Obviously, we're here. It is March 22nd. Then next week, we go down to Donington Park, keeping things in the UK, and you can see that theme all the way through Knock Hill at round number 3 on the reverse layout. But that's where things get a bit different. Now, our British friends here with BSR have gotten pretty used to having an American around and, a Brazilian around, and while we don't have Interlagos on the schedule just yet, you can lobby them for that one next season, JP, they did want to give that North American flavor, so that they at least wanted to get onto the right side of the world, I suppose, just a little further north than you are. But still, this is a really cool set of racetracks, and they've got seven North American courses, and they're all pretty good.
Yeah, they're all fantastic. Obviously, this is going to throw, I guess you can say, a spanner in the mix, as I like to call. It's going to be different than what we had previous season, and obviously some of these racetracks, they're going to provide completely different racing, Andrew. I'm pretty sure, not the methodology, but, the way the circuits are built in the USA are definitely different than the ones that are built in the UK. Obviously, most of them are, World War II airstrips as well, so it's going to be really fun to see the North American side, and it's going to be fun seeing the difference that racing provides in both sides of the pond.
Absolutely. These Mazdas especially are going to fit the American tracks so well. Sonoma's going to be a lot of fun, I think, especially on the shorter course. Road America is just going to be good for both sides. Canadian Tire will be a whole lot of fun with both, I think. And Watkins Glen, of course, is going to be a draft battle with the Miatas. We'll see how Road Atlanta goes for both. That should be a whole lot of fun. And, of course, we had Daytona last season. We know what to expect there. And Sebring is going to be a great way to end the season all the way in May, on May 24th for the Trophy Tuesday MX-5 driver. So, the schedule out of the way, the track out of the way. There's just a couple of moments left here in qualifying. Let's go ahead and take a look then at how things are breaking down. And look at that, right back on top. Two of the same drivers that we had on top of the point standings at the end of last season, JP. In fact, two of the drivers that I think we would most expect to be right where they are currently, Jason Cooper and Andy McEwen. And Andy having a chase right now, Jason picking up right where he left off.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a season-long battle again between those two. I expect more drivers, to be involved in this lead battle, but, these two, they went at it the whole season, and especially in the last few races, Andrew, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Formula 1 season. You can say, the charge that McEwen tried to put, obviously, on Cooper. Obviously, it didn't work out, but it's still going to be lots of fun seeing how can they both, I guess, just go through the races, especially with the inverts. The spinny wheel is back. It's just going to be lots of fun seeing the championship, and I cannot wait to get it going.
So look at our top two then in qualifying. Let's move on down the line. Let's actually go all the way down to amateur quickly and see who is leading the charge in that class. Well, it looks like it's going to be Craig Schill, and most of the amateurs, surprisingly, are actually grouped up at the bottom. I would have expected a little more crossover throughout the field. We've seen that before, but it looks like for right now, the amateurs sticking pretty low on the standing sheet, but that'll change. Come race time especially, that will change, especially once we get the inverts out there. Craig Schill is only a second and 4/10 off. It's really not that bad, and he's really not far behind James Clark for 20th, or even Thortullo, who is now a Pro-Am driver, and joining that Pro-Am field currently, it looks like, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th potentially in class. So Thor, I would expect to move up, and look at that, he's also adorning new 88 Tech colors, so he has joined that organization. Cool to see 88 Tech expanding, and I know a lot of teams have moved around, a lot of drivers have moved around as well. Leading the Pro-Am charge currently, that's Liam Silkstone, still with Excite Energy, and you can see his car, at least you could see his car for just a moment before he towed back to the pit lane, but this is definitely going to be a good day of racing. I think a lot of new people in a lot of new places, and even a few new drivers like this guy, Craig Cockrell, one of the new Excite drivers.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fantastic. We have 17 drivers, Andrew, within the same second. So it's extremely close between pretty much everybody. So it's just going to be lots of fun to see how the drivers will, race. On the first race, obviously, pretty much we should expect the field to be similar to qualifying, but especially when we get to the inverts, is where the fun will definitely begin, seeing those drivers being shuffled around, and I cannot wait to see. Obviously, we're on board now with Tom Griffiths, another name we're really used to. He jumps to second, so yeah, I was going to mention, only 1.5 tenths behind Cooper, so he's definitely doing a good qualifying. Well, he's second best.
Rocketing towards Stowe now is car number 11 of Tom Griffiths. I like that we've got some new paint schemes, it looks like, for these Excite guys as well. Let's see, Andy McEwen. I know there was some talk about him moving around teams, but it looks like he's still at year one, which I think is pretty cool. I love that livery. I really do love that neon green, the purple on there. It looks so good. So I would hope that he doesn't leave year one simply for that, even if it is a bit selfish in that regard. Ben Sharp is back. Good to see the number 24 car back in the field. I know he was gone for a little while last season, headed out to Dubai for a nice little business trip. Glad he's back, though, as Lars Fischer goes well at the board. We've gotten more used to seeing this 5-star motorsport livery on different cars, JP. Well, they're picking right back up from the top, and currently locking out the top two in qualifying. And do we see a Casper DeCourt somewhere in the field? I do not just yet, so I don't think Casper is going to join them, but still locking out the top of the podium.
Yeah, it's definitely what they wanted at the start of the season. It's essentially a show of strength, just locking out the front row and just, starting first and second. So it's going to be really good to see if they can keep that up. And, the rest of the field's definitely going to have to, essentially play catch-up, at least in qualifying. That's a trend we have been seeing, Andrew. Those guys, just constantly at the top, and that teamwork that they do, the slipstream, the toll that they use with their teammates really does help them, lock out the front row.
Craig Schill going to come on into the pit lane and wrap up his qualifying effort. So qualifying will come to a close then. for round number 1 this season at Silverstone. And of course, plenty of rounds to go, 10 rounds in fact, which means 4 races apiece. That's 40 races this season, increasing it by 1 week from last time around over the winter. There's plenty of racing to go around. Let's go ahead and meet our grid for the first race of this new season. On pole, as we saw, Jason Cooper. Fast as ever. Lars Fischer will roll off from the 2nd spot, and starting 3rd is the first non-5-star driver. That's Tom Griffiths for Excite Energy with Andy McEwen alongside in car number 4. Starting 5th, it's Ben Sharp. Chris Knox joins him in row number 3. Starting 7th, you'll find Lee Holmes, and 8th is the Pro-Am pole sitter Liam Silkstone himself for Excite Energy. Starting 9th, you'll find Sam Smith, and to finish things out with 3 Pro-Am drivers to wrap up the top 10, it's Craig Cockrell, a newcomer in car 546.
11th place will go the ways of James Neve in the number 7, and number 13 of Nick Klibbins will start on his outside in 12th place. 13th place will go the ways of Jamie Gulliford in the number 599, and the number 522 of Nathan Davies on his outside in 14th place. 15th place will go the ways of Adam McNally in the number 78, and the number 20 of James Clark on his outside. Row number 9 will go the ways of Paul Donkin in the number 529, and the number 579 of Douglas Stewart in 18th place. Row number 10 will go the ways of Thor Tulo in the 544, and the 592 of Roger Morgan on his outside.
Starting from position 21, you'll find Craig Schill in number 982. That is your amateur pole sitter, joined on that row by Alistair Hatcher. Starting 23rd, it's going to be car 912, Duncan Cope, Fiona Siddons alongside in 24th. 25th starting spot, it's Liam Stimpson, a new driver there in car 520. Mark Oliver will start from 26th. Starting 27th, you'll find Ollie Ricks. 28th, Adam Delmont, and shotgun on the field, it's car 578, Julian Schroeder. And look at that. To start the season off right, we got a whole grid in. I like the way things are going here. Green flag for the first time this season at Silverstone. We head down to Village for the first time. Your top 2 5-star motorsport teammates, they are under fire. Tom Griffith's already taken a look there. This is going to be a good day of racing. I think this layout's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty sure it is. And any layout would be fun with these guys. Everybody making it through. Looks like for the first 3 corners safely. The first 5 corners, actually, we have a good view of the international layout. You can see a few battles. Looks like a few drivers already have slowdown penalties, but the rest of the field looks like they're single file Andrew for the first few laps, but we do have a few battles emerging.
Yeah, James Clark, one of those drivers that was peeling off on the backstretch, the hanger straight for the first time, and here we go. A battle maybe for 4th, 3rd and 4th. Yes, Tom Griffith side by side with Andy McEwen. And there was definitely a few moments last season where Andy roughed things up with the Excite boys, doing so already on lap number 1. A nice little battle here for the 3rd position is, oh, we've got Nathan Davies in trouble. Car 522! My goodness. That was close. Does he get back rolling? Not quite.
Ooh, well, he just spun on the exit. I wonder if there's a little bit of damage, but definitely contact with him. As looks like we're almost going 3 wide, no, 2 wide amongst 2 cars. So we have a few battles going down into turn 1. The lead remains unchanged. Cooper from Fisher. Tom Griffith still definitely under pressure from McEwen, but definitely applying pressure to Fisher, Andrew. So it's a battle for 2nd place, effectively.
And that seems about like the way things were last season as well. So I think a lot of the same is going to happen here with Jason Cooper. He's just so good in these Mazda Miatas. And look at everybody drifting onto the hanger straight. That is something to watch them come through Chapel like that, trying to maintain as much speed as possible and line up in a row. Lee Holmes going to poke out to the right side of Chris Knox and take a look. Finds nothing there. Let's go on board with car 23.
This is one of the corners where you can kind of afford to essentially go deep on their braking, but looks like Chris Knox went really deep. He's going to concede a position to Lee Holmes, looks like. So going a bit wide and conceding the position, already fair play by the number 23. So he yields that position down into 7th place. So yeah, already a good start. Not a good start for him, a good start for Lee Holmes, already forcing his opponent into a mistake. Looks like Chris Knox dropped to 8th place. So I wonder if there was a slowdown penalty as Tom Griffiths goes fastest. Already in lap number 3, Andrew, we have a bit of separation between, essentially 2 groups in the field.
Yeah, that's why I like taking the speed shot early in these races. You can see how the race is going to develop and how things change as Lars Fischer under fire once more into Village that time. Let's go on board with position number 4 then, maybe Andy McEwen following Tom Griffiths. Oh, down to turn 5. This is a really tough braking zone for Chappell. Get back on the power and try not to track out too far. You can get a slowdown if you go too far out to the left side. That time looks okay for Andy as he stays tucked in behind car number 11. Let's see what's going on behind him. You see Ben Sharp staying nice and tidy so far. I'm sure Ben wants to think about a move, but it's really, really early in this race still. And look at that. Lars Fischer under fire properly now from car 11. Tom right down to the inside for Stowe.
Just went down the inside, really deep on the braking for the number 11. Looks like he's going to be trying to look down the inside. Now he's going to have to go defensive because McEwen is looking to his outside, but backs off. So the number 96 and number 11 go side by side. They retain that position for the time being, but look at the exit that McEwen got. Not good enough because he's going to be overtaken by Sharp. So Andrew, just by holding back, Sharp got the position, didn't really have to risk himself, and currently he finds himself in 4th place.
And that's exactly how you've got to do it. You've got to stay patient. You got to stay smart in these races. You can get flustered pretty easily in these battles, but you simply cannot allow yourself to do that. Tom Griffiths, now where does he go? Down to the inside, it looks like, for Village. Yes, and he's going to make that work. What a move. Out of car 11, 3 wide maybe when we go through turn 4. The loop, contact there. Fisher to Griffiths. They hang on to it. Here comes McEwen having a look. Sharp down to the inside, and Fisher's way out of the way.
Went on 2 wheels there, lost a few positions, but he's still on racing. Unfortunately, he's going to be losing quite a bit of pace on the back straightaway, but what a defensive move. What an incredible shot we just got. Unfortunately for him, he's dropping off the field essentially as the top 2, essentially the top 5 are still battling Andrew. McEwen goes up into 3rd, so he passes Ben Sharp. Lee Holmes still battling. What a beginning of a race.
One more time, we'll go to this chicane. 10 minutes to go now in this first 15-minute race. And oh, who was that up the inside of Lee Holmes? That was Sam Smith. And look at Nick Clemens coming to a stop there in the outside of turn number 7. He gets back going. There was an issue last lap with Liam Stimpson and Julian Shore. They seem to have gotten back going. Here are they. As no damage looks like to Julian's car. How about Stimpson? Hard to tell exactly from that angle. Let's go back up front. Jason Cooper leading the way. Andy McEwen has fallen back a little bit, actually, from Tom Griffiths, and really has to worry about Ben Sharp more than anything else. And look at that side-by-side battle, but just behind these two, Sam Smith bringing the fight properly now to Lee Holmes. This is for position number 5.
Yeah, an overall top 5 up for grabs for Sam Smith. Hopefully he can get that position, but looks like he's going to have to just back off just a little bit, essentially on the back straightaway, trying to get a little bit of a subtraction, maybe go deep under braking into Stowe. That's definitely one overtaking opportunity. Try to force the driver ahead of you into a mistake. Is he close enough this time by? No, looks like he's just going to be holding back a little bit. I say that, Andrew, he almost rear-ended.
Yeah, he got in a little deep, had to really bind the car up. Thankfully does so as he's in front of a couple of teammates there in Liam Silverstone and Craig Cockrell. So it looks like Liam got the help he wanted last season, JP. He wanted some more Excite drivers in that Pro-Am class, and he got his wish. He's got Sam Smith and Craig Cockrell now. Now, it looks like Sam Smith was already with Simtech Racing and Excite Energy, the same kind of group there, but this is big for Liam to properly have other drivers in those Excite colors.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be fantastic. As it looks like this battle, Andrew, is really heating up. Smith right now, really under pressure from Leo Silverstone. He might just look down the inside into turns number 3. He's definitely already looking. Oh, this is Lars Fischer. I do apologize. So, yeah, Fischer went past Cockrell. Now he's going to be chasing Silverstone. So, Fischer now in a comeback race, Andrew, and is he close enough maybe to challenge by the top 5, trying to get to Lee Holmes, maybe do a little bit of damage limitation. Chris Knox, I also noticed, just cracked the top 10. Something happened to him at the end of lap 2 or 3, and he essentially dropped back quite a bit, but he's definitely still on the pace.
You can now see, this is a nice little battle right around the top 10 cutoff. Craig Cockrell in 5:46, and he's got Chris Knox at the inside to Stowe. And that's good for position number 9 for Chris Knox in car 23. Adam McNally just behind these two. Another one of the Excite teammates there. Those are the red Excite colors you're looking for with the chrome blue rims. And just behind them, you'll find James Neve in car 7, new livery on board his car, along with Jamie Gulliford, his teammate. Love seeing new things like this at the start of the season, just learning where guys have maybe moved around to and what their cars might look like for the season. It's such a cool feeling as we watch these guys continue on a little past halfway in race number 1. Fiona Siddons keeps moving around here with Nathan Davies, and Fiona now properly into that Result Clothing team, so good to see new colors aboard that 927 as she battles again with Alistair Hatcher and Nathan Davies.
It's a good battle. for 25th, 24th, 23rd position. This is a good battle to see, essentially a three-way battle, and obviously Fiona's trying to essentially get back to that position where she once was last season out, Andrew. Looks like a rough start for the time being, but, you know, with the spinny wheel, you know, a bad day can turn into a fantastic day in just one race, and the opposite is also true. So, you know, it's just a matter of keeping your car clean. And, well, we noticed last season, Andrew, I'm pretty sure you can back me up, leaving your car on the lead lap and running until the last lap of the race is essential for the championship.
Yeah, there's a lot of different strategies you can employ in this series and come out successful. A lot of different ways to do things. I know the saying is, you know, there's always multiple ways to skin a cat. But, yeah, there's definitely several ways you can do things here with the British Sim Racers and still find some success. We're on board with Chris Knox, and you can see Lars Fischer grinding the sausage curve like that, I think, is one way to not find success, unfortunately. Lars Fischer now on the outside as we'll head down the front stretch to Abby, and this will just give way to Chris Knox, where there's really nothing Lars can do there. And, yeah, he slots in right behind car 23, so good move there. Thortullo battling with Douglas Stewart. Oh my goodness, and Craig Schill there as well. Craig Schill, your leader in amateur, he'll hang back of these two just a little bit. This is for 18th, 19th, and 20th on the racetrack. Craig Schill in that 20th spot.
That was definitely an aggressive close of the door by Stewart. Definitely could have gone very wrong, but luckily it was all okay. Craig Schill using a lot of the sausage curb, Andrew. Yeah. And, well, we have, you know, quite an understanding right now how big those sausage curbs are, because we saw a car grinding out and, well, essentially losing control of the front tires just by going over it. So these are massive curbs that should not be underestimated. And as you can see, this battle up ahead as well, you can see Jason Cooper, Andrew, he's not driving away as I kind of expected. After he got clear air, he essentially pulled a 1.3 second gap, but it's back down to less than a second.
There are some good drafting opportunities, and that's keeping Tom Griffiths and company pretty close behind that one car. Not quite getting to him, because there's still corners around here, and I think Stowe and whatnot are certainly where car one tends to shine, but definitely, this front stretch and the hangar straight, two really good drafting opportunities here at Silverstone, and keeping these guys in this fray. We know how good Jason Cooper is. The drivers talk about how good Jason Cooper is. That's no surprise. I think at this point we can just accept that he is an alien.
Oh, absolutely. His pace is absolutely excellent. Everybody's trying to play catch-up with him, so it's obviously a good benchmark to follow, trying to follow his lap times and essentially trying to catch up and overtake him. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these drivers, if they succeed in doing so, pretty sure they're going to be going home, but essentially driving away in the seam. Really, really happy about it.
A lot of places to follow Pit Stop TV on social media. Hopefully you do so to see more battles like this. Andy McEwen on the back end of Tom Griffiths, pushing him into Stowe that time. Falls back now as Ben Sharp kind of rolls up to that 4 car. But plenty of things going on Pit Stop TV, and to keep updated about them, you do want to follow us on all of our different social media platforms. Andy McEwen, I thought, was going to take a look there for turn 7, but stays in behind. There is an interesting theme here in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, JP. I don't know if you've noticed. Yellow rims, even though they're on 3 different teams, they all have the same colored rims. That's odd.
That's a good eye. That's a great catch, actually. So it's a battle of the green-yellow rims. So who's going to come out on top? We have 3 contenders with 3.5 minutes to go. Andrew, place your bets.
I'll put my bets on the yellow rims. We'll just see how that one goes.
That's a good one.
Here's a little battle further back. Lars Fischer on the back end of Liam Silkstone. This is for position 7. Oh boy, that was close there. And I like how they've got the number on the back end, the quarter panels there of the Excite cars now as well. That looks really good on Liam's car, the 594 in the back. These guys will have 3 laps to go, it looks like, next time by the start-finish line. Expecting 13 laps in each of these races, and I can't wait to see how that changes maybe for Thursday. And here we go. Tom Griffiths properly on the back end of Jason Cooper. Stays in line, stays in tow. But when does he make that move?
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be the $1 million question. He could have gone for the move on this lap. Maybe he's just waiting for the final few laps, just trying to, to get the perfect opportunity to make sure Cooper doesn't have any way to fight back. But obviously, Andrew, we saw sometimes if you leave it for the last lap, that's going to be absolutely no room for error. You need to put the perfect lap in, and chasing a driver ahead of you, chasing an alien ahead of you, it's really easy to essentially overdrive a car and force a mistake out of yourself. So it's a really big challenge that Griffiths has. Hopefully he can, for him, he can get the lead, but if he leaves it to the last lap, that's a high-risk move.
Side by side, Paul Donkin losing a spot there to Jamie Gulliford. Gulliford following his teammate up through the field, now into 13th. And Lars Fischer having a look there at Liam Silverstone, and he's got that spot a lap later. Good move there. Lars Fischer taking the 7th position away. And now Adam McNally is going to have a look at his own teammate here, potentially. This would be for position number 8 if Adam can get it.
It's going to be really good for Adam to get that position. Obviously, he needs to get that position as quickly as possible and make sure he doesn't battle too much with Silverstone because Knox is just behind him as well. And look at this, Silverstone is kind of just trying to get past back again Fischer. They're going to go side by side as well. The leaders are also going side by side. You can see Cooper now is going to be forced to the outside of turn number 7. Griffiths on the inside. Are they going to go side by side through it? Yes, they will. Almost a little bit of contact. Don't count McEwen out because he's going to get an excellent exit. He's going to get 2nd place, and he might just get 1st, Andrew, by the end of the straightaway.
Really good pass there from Andy. Now he pops over to the right side. In a line now. Across the start-finish line and headed down to Abbey one more time. In fact, we've got 2 laps to go for these guys. Actually, that could just turn into 1. I think the pace has dropped just enough. It's going to be very, very close. And Lars Fischer has a problem, it looks like, at the start of the lap. He drops way, way back. Lars Fischer really, really slow right now. There he is. I'm not sure what's just gone on, but we resume with the race lead. Ben Sharp takes a look down to the inside, gets right back over in front of Lee Holmes. It's the top 6 battling it out and drafting down the hanger straight to figure out who's going to win this race. The first race of this new season. We've still got just over a lap to go. Maybe. We'll see if this is the white flag. Presented by Whiplash Sim Cams, and McEwen's move tells me it might be down to the inside of Stowe.
Might just be. He went down the inside. He got the move done already on the entry, so Cooper's definitely going to have to fight that back. He's also going to have to defend from Griffiths. Looks like he's looking, so we might see a 3-wide situation. No, we want Cooper once again goes around the outside. He's going to keep that position for the time being. McEwen gets forced off. Griffiths is 3rd place. They almost make contact. They do.
McEwen crashing out of turn, final corner. That's checkers. That is checkered flag, I think. Barney, wave the flag. That should be checkers right there. I think that's it. If not, this might be the final. I don't know. One of these laps is going to end it. These guys are still racing. I think we're still going on. I think McEwen is just, unfortunately, done for. I don't think he's really got any option. He's down in 7th place, so he's not completely done. But I think this will be the run to checkers. That seems like that should have been it. I thought we hit the timer there, but all right. One more lap. This is it. Down to Stowe for the final time. You can see Lee Holmes in the background with some damage. McEwen as well. 3 cars then. Jason Cooper, Tom Griffiths, Ben Sharp. Into Stowe for the final time.
Just has just enough of a gap to keep himself in 1st place unless a big dive comes out of the number 11. I don't think it will. So Cooper, Andrew, well, either way, if it was the previous lap or this lap, he's going to win it.
It's not over just yet. Griffiths, maybe. Contact there. Sharp got him going. Can he find some draft before the start-finish line? The run to the end, and this is officially checkers. And that is it. Jason Cooper just hangs on to that one over Tom Griffiths, Ben Sharp, Sam Smith. How about that? Taking the win in Pro-Am. At least he should. And oh, that was 3 wide across the line. Andy McEwen in the center of all that. Thor Tullo's got problems on this final lap. Paul Donkin, Douglas Stewart as well. Wow. I'm almost speechless.
Well, I guess we being speechless on this series, Andrew, is quite normal, isn't it?
And you know what? All 29 cars that started this race are finishing this race on the lead lap. You know what that means?
Oh, the full one, the full invert would definitely be interesting.
We could. We could get that. Couple more cars to finish up the race. Ollie Ricks will come around that final bend one more time. There's Ollie, then it's Liam Stimpson and Julian Schroer. Now, after the invert, we'll run it back and get a replay there of whatever happened to McNally coming to the white flag. I thought that would have been checkers. I'll have to go back and look at it. I know the start-finish line is a little earlier, actually. Well, it might not be. I don't know. Silverstone could be weird like that, and I really thought that would have been checkers right there, but I guess not. I guess we had that one extra lap. It doesn't really change anything. Jason Cooper comes down with the win anyways, but certainly could have changed things. And let's go ahead and take a look at our spinny wheel for the first time this season, JP. And you can see it's green. We've changed colors. We've added the green there on the bottom left with the footer, taking on that BSR kind of almost British racing green. I kind of like it. And things have changed just a bit. Let's go ahead and spin it, get our first invert out of the way this season. Could we get full for the first time? Oh, we're going to be just shy by a couple of spaces, and it looks like 17 is the number. And what that's going to do is just avoid amateur winner Craig Schill. That'll invert all the way down through James Clark. We'll get a full look at the results here in just a few moments, but the 17-car invert to start things off. Boy, could you imagine if we had gotten full to start the season off?
It would definitely be very, very interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of cheering up for that. It would definitely be, I guess, a welcome challenge for every single driver. 29 cars, could you imagine?
I could, and that's what's almost scary about it, is I think I could imagine that, and it would be hectic. Let's go back just a little bit further here and see if we can find what happens between all of these guys. This is not the best view, so we'll go with this. Look at Andy McEwen there on the left side. What happens here? Griffith's on the right side. I imagine there has to be contact. Oh, wow, he got hooked off the bumper of Cooper.
And that's I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, that is one of the strangest ways for McEwen to go around in that I've ever seen. Let's go on board with him and see all of this build-up. Now, Andy's going to drop all the way down to 10th by the end of this thing. Let's just ride on board with Andy McEwen and see where this all sets up, and I'm really curious about the actual contact itself.
So you can see a good enough run by him on the back straightaway, on the hanger straight. He looks down the inside, he goes down the inside way before even the braking zone, so he gets cleared of Cooper even before the apex, goes a little bit tighter. Cooper gets a little bit more of an arc on the racing line, looks to the outside of turn 7. That really just sets him up. We saw him doing that lots of times, Andrew, so he kind of got that nailed down. Closes a bit of the door on the inside of turn 7, goes on turn 8, obviously on the inside. McEwen gets a great run and just tags the rear bumper, and
that is so odd. That is genuinely really, really odd to see. I've never seen that with Miatas anyways. I've seen that a couple of times on NASCAR plate tracks, super speedways, where you're bump drafting and you have that sometimes, but that is really, really weird. The way Cooper's car settles right there, comes back over, it just, wow. And Lee Holmes nowhere to go, pounds into the side of that 4 car. Alrighty then. I know Andy won't be too happy about that. I know he was actually commentating here earlier in the week, or over the weekend. So I'm glad that he, got a good experience here before getting disappointed race number 1 of the season, because that is not how he wanted to start things off. But let's go ahead and take a look at the full results here, JP.
Absolutely. For the first race of the season, Jason Cooper wins just as he left off. Tom Griffith's going to finish in 2nd place. Ben Sharp is going to finish in 3rd place ahead of Sam Smith, our Pro-Am winner. Liam Silverstone is going to have 5th place and 2nd place in his class. Chris Knox is going to finish in 6th ahead of James Neve. Lee Holmes, who we saw having that contact with Andy McEwen, is going to finish in 8th place ahead of Craig Cockrell. And 10th place will go to Andrew McEwen, who on the last lap, Andrew, was fighting for the win.
Well, coming to the last lap anyways. It was close to the last lap. Finishing up in 11th place, you'll find Adam McNally, and this is where the invert comes in. McNally in 11th, then Gulliford in 12th, and it's Adam Delmont in position number 13. Paul Donkin, Nick Clibbins, Lars Fisher, and James Clark is now your pole sitter for race number 2. He'll be inverted to start from 1st, with Lars starting 2nd, Nick Clibbins starting 3rd, and so on and so forth. Paul Donkin will be your Pro-Am pole sitter now for race number 2, starting from the 4th spot after finishing 14th. Then you get to the guys who just missed out on the invert. Craig Schill, Nathan Davies, Thoratilla wrap up your top 20.
21st place goes the way of Douglas Stewart ahead of Duncan Cope. Roger Morton is going to finish in 23rd place. Alistair Hatcher is going to finish in 24th. Fiona Siddons in 25th. Mark Oliver in 26th. Ollie Reeks in 27th, just ahead of Liam Simpson. Just ahead, I mean like 20 seconds ahead. Liam in 28th place, and Julian Schroer in 29th place. And Andrew, I'm not quite sure if this is the first time, but, well, all cars finish on the lead lap.
I feel like that's the first time that we've seen. I don't recall another race where the entire field was actually eligible for a full invert if we were to get one. I want to say that's the first time, which is pretty impressive. I do want to mention some of the upcoming broadcasts here at Pit Stop TV. There are several of them through the coming days, and this is a good look at things. Later this evening, we'll have the North American Racing League Porsche Cup Series from Spa. So the Porsche 992, the new Porsche 911 GT3 car, that is going to be running around Spa later this evening. That sounds like a lot of fun, to be honest. And we've got a lot of great drivers in that series. Tony Kanaan, for a brief moment, was in the top 10 in points. Sam Soyd is in there as well. And, of course, all the stars like Andre Melchers and Luke Krause and Victor Miranda, they have been running the series. A lot of racing to watch later. We've got a 30-minute amateur race and a 50-minute Pro-Am race that you'll want to make sure you tune in for. And again, that gets started at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Then tomorrow evening, it's Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Outlaws Sim Series. Not quite the new Atlanta just yet, but we're giving one more final send-off to the original Atlanta, well, not the original Atlanta Motor Speedway, but at least the original Atlanta Motor Speedway as iRacing ever knew it. It's going to be a nice way to send that track off. A whole lot of fun. 7:30 Eastern tomorrow evening on Wednesday, March the 23rd. And then Thursday, look at that, we kick things right back off with BSRTC right back here at Silverstone. Another day of racing here. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we still have 3 races to go today before we even have to worry about BSRTC in a couple of days' time. And of course, later on Thursday, we'll have more coverage of the North American Racing League with their GT3 series headed to Sebring. But that will do it for race number 1 at Silverstone today. That's it. We're used to closing the broadcast. Now, we've kind of gotten out of the rhythm, JP, of having these 4 races, going to the intermission a whole bunch of times. So it's kind of weird. Like, I want to close down almost. Like, my brain is telling me close down, that's it for the day. But no, we've still got 3 races to go, and we've got to hustle to get to them. We'll be right back in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. More BSR racing on the way at Pit Stop TV. Welcome back to the virtual Silverstone circuit. Race number 2 on the way for day number 1 of a long season here for the British Sim Racers. Adding 1 week to the schedule and adding a whole lot of fun new tracks. Here's a look at the Tuesday, well, really just the BSR spring schedule as a whole for Trophy Tuesdays and BSR TC later in the week. It's the same tracks week in, week out, same layouts week in, week out, just different days, of course, and, well, different cars. So we kick things off this evening at Silverstone. It's Donington Park next week, then Nog Hill, Sonoma, Road America, Canadian Tire, Watkins Glen, Road Atlanta, Daytona, and Sebring. And JP, if you had to pick one track out of the 10, what's your favorite?
Oh, I have to go for Road Atlanta. I love pretty much all the racetracks around here, but Road Atlanta just has a special place in my heart. I just absolutely love the challenge that lies in that circuit, and I'm not quite sure if a lot of drivers will love it as well. Obviously, it's a very tricky and unforgiving circuit, but it's just the circuit that I love in North America.
How could you take my pick? How could you do that to me? I always say Road Atlanta is one of my favorites, but hey, that's okay. If I got to pick a number 2, I would probably go with Sonoma or Nog Hill, at least on this list of tracks. Those two really are really fun tracks to me. I really enjoy Sonoma. Nog Hill is a fantastic little circuit. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, this entire season long, though. Silverstone, clearly, race 1 was really good to kick things off today. Donington next week will be a lot of fun, and so on and so forth. I'm looking forward to especially the draft battles at Road America and Daytona, but also the more, and even Watkins Glen, but even the more technical tracks like Sebring or Canadian Tire, stuff like that. Should be a lot of fun this season. Let's get right down to the grid then for race number 2. We're just waiting on a few more drivers to go ahead and jump in their cars. James Clark now on pole, Lars Fischer starting from second, Nick Clivens further back, and Paul Donkin, your first of the Pro-Am drivers, getting ready to go today. Starting from the 18th position will be your amateur pole sitter. That's Craig Schill way back there. And just waiting on, I think, one more driver to get in their car and get ready to go racing. 15 more minutes on the way in this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just somebody out there is just tardy to their car, and they need to jump in quick because the race is about to start without them. Red lights on, waiting on green. You can hear the engines spooling up. A hungry Field Miata is ready to race down to Abbey, and green lights are out. Oh, from the lead, Nick Clivens going to go for a spin out of turn number 3. Got on the power a little bit eagerly and goes around from first all the way down to 27th, dead last for car 13. And there's a crash. Chris Knox.
Oh, unfortunately for him, already spinning out. So we have 2 spinners. Chris, looks like both of them actually with no further damage, Andrew, but really heartbreaking for them as we have even more cars going way down the inside. So I wonder if slowdown penalties are affecting some of these drivers as we have even more cars. We just saw Jason Cooper going past a few drivers. Already a much more hectic start than race number 1.
Down to 7 for the first time. Here we go into the proper little chicane at the back end of the lap. They'll come around club and finish up the first lap of racing. And Lars Fischer is out in front. Paul Donkin second. Let's see how they come across the line to complete lap number 1. Boy, that was certainly, I think, one of the more exciting first laps we've seen in a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It was crazy.
Oh, somebody else is spinning.
Oh, yeah, it was not over yet, Andrew. So we have even more spinners on the final corner. That's the number 3. So unfortunately, Ollie Ricks getting, the last spin of the lap for him, and he drops all the way down into 27th. So, wow, the first lap wasn't even done, and we even have more spinners as we have even more battles up here. You can see Andy McEwen trying to find his way past Clark, and it looks like Clark maybe cut the corner a bit too much. He might get a slowdown penalty.
Adam McNally going to have a look at both of them, and whoa, look at that, splitting the needle, going 3 wide, going to the inside of Clark, the outside of McEwen, gets both of those spots. McEwen, though, not done on the inside. He's going to try for Stowe. Lee Holmes getting into this, backs back out of it, stays behind. But McNally and McEwen side by side. This will be a whole lot of fun down to the chicane, won't it?
Absolutely, it will. You can see McNally just edging a little bit in front. He's going to have the inside into turn 7. Looks like McEwen couldn't really get the car on the outside, so he's just gonna settle a little bit. Just as I mentioned that he goes in 2 wheels, he's gonna be losing yet another position. So from attacking, he has to defend, and feeling a little bit of the pressure, Andrew, he did a small mistake and ended up costing him yet another position, maybe 2.
Look at that block there. McEwen was trying to get down in front of Cooper. Cooper goes on through, takes that spot by the narrowest of margins over Andy McEwen, but he's not done. 4-car fights back to the inside in corner number 2. We'll go down to turn 3, Village, and oh, look at the send from Tom Griffiths to the inside of James Clark. What a move.
Gets the move done very cleanly. Clark's gonna have to defend it from Nathan Davies, looks like, and they're gonna go side by side on turn number 5, and looks like it's gonna be a drag race between those two. But Andrew, what is this racing we're seeing? Is just crazy but incredibly clean.
Really good stuff to kick off the day. Nathan Davies now slots in front of James Clark. We'll take that spot away. Let's go ahead, and while we ride on board at the Fanta 522, let's take a look at the weather and how things maybe have changed. Air temp about the same, but that track temp is starting to go up as the day wears on.
Yeah, absolutely. That track temp is much higher, around 16 degrees higher, if I'm not mistaken, 14. So quite a bit, on the hotter side. Might help a few of those drivers, might hurt a few others. As you can see, even more drivers making small mistakes on the final few corners of the racetrack. Delmont still putting out fastest lap. He's currently in 2nd place, so he got past Paul Donkey. Lee Holmes now sets the fastest lap of the race, so it's essentially a battle to see who's the fastest, and now we can see Donkin defending that 3rd place against McNally. McNally's going to look down the inside, might just get the position, but the Red Bull livery MX-5 tries to hold it, but just not quite enough.
So Donkin gives that one up. Here comes Lee Holmes looking for another down to the inside of car 529, and he has got it. He'll power up out of turn 5 and onto the hanger straight and take that one away and bring Jason Cooper and Andy McEwen along with. Really good stuff, and these pros are in fine form today.
Absolutely. Look at McEwen and Cooper helping each other, essentially forming a little bit of a train.
Oh, 3 wide.
Reminds me of NASCAR, and yes, we went 3 wide into Stowe. Is it gonna stick? No contact made.
Oh, there it is.
Wow, on the exit, no.
Lee Holmes and Jason Cooper, they're still running. Oh, maybe not anymore. McEwen came over a little bit into Holmes. They all hold on to it. Griffiths down to the inside, beating and banging through the final corners of the lap.
Absolutely amazing. Cooper made a little bit of contact with Griffiths as well, but they all keep pointing at the same direction, so fantastic job, fantastic car control from everybody. You can see now Cooper lost 2 positions. He's already looking down the inside into turn number 1, but not quite close enough. Looks like Lee Holmes is blinking a little bit, so definitely a little bit distracting for the reigning champion. And you can see McEwen just ahead looking down the inside of Paul Donkin. He gets that move done, looks like it. On the exit, yes, he does. So Paul Donkin, he was once in 2nd place, now he's in 5th.
Big moves for car 4, getting back ahead of a few of these guys. Lee Holmes, Jason Cooper, they're still duking it out. They made contact the last lap. Look at them all file on to the hanger straight. This is our chance to breathe. Lap 5 of an expected 13, but look at that, they're still side by side. Tom Griffiths up the inside and bringing one of his teammates along with. That was Craig Cockrell, as we got side by side. Cooper back up the inside of Holmes. Let's rinse and repeat, do it all over again.
Lee Holmes not phased at all. He's going to stick the car on the outside. Now he's going to have the inside of turn 7, but Cooper really likes the outside lane. He's able to cut in really sharply on the apex just like that and gets the position done. He wants to defend it. Now he attacked it with that move, and you can see further behind Tom Griffiths defending from looks like Nathan Davies, Andrew, as we have battles all throughout the top 10. You can see Nathan Davies looks like looking around the inside, but defending as well as Cockrell looks down his inside into turn number 1.
Good moves throughout the field. The top 10 have really been racy today. Now, if you're wondering back further in AM, your amateur leader remains to be Craig Schill, and he's got a couple spots back to Mark Oliver. That shouldn't change anytime soon, it looks like. We do not want to leave this up front just yet. As you can see, so many cars in a line and doing battle. Look at Lee Holmes back on Jason Cooper as they file out of Chapel there onto the hanger straight. And you can look even further ahead. Adam Delmont all over the back end of Lars Fisher. Here we go for the race lead.
For the race lead down into Stowe, he goes down the inside. The number 77 gets the move done. The number 96, though, trying to get a good enough exit. And look at the exit that he got, Andrew. Will Delmont go defensive? Yes, he will, but Lars backs off a little bit. So He's happy for the time being to concede that lead and maybe get an attack back in the next few corners. You can see the number 77 goes a bit too wide. None of them touched the outside curb on the exit of turn 8. And boy, oh boy, we're definitely going to have a battle for the lead. Lars Fischer, he cannot be too comfortable, Andrew, because McNally is definitely going to be closing up really quickly.
And things aren't done behind. There's battles throughout the entire field. Nobody is over just yet. And we've still got 7 minutes to go. Jason Cooper working on Paul Donkin here. This is for 5th overall. You can see our top 3 starting to pack up, and you called it. McNally starting to catch him. Cooper down to the inside of Paul Donkin. Takes that spot well away as Donkin has to defend now from Lee Holmes. Car 529 has a swarm of hungry bees behind him, and he's just trying to run away as quickly as possible. Tom Griffiths all over the back end of Lee Holmes. Nathan Davies, Craig Cockrell, joining Paul Donkin as the Pro-Am drivers inside this top 10. More Pro-Am drivers moved up in the field. Sam Smith, who won that first race in class, as well as Jamie Gulliford, they're 13th and 14th. Thortolo 16th.
You see Lee Holmes looking down the inside of Paul Donkin, trying to get that position as quickly as possible. Couldn't really do it in Stowe. He's still blinking a little bit. He's definitely going to be trying to overtake, maybe down into turn 7. He looks down the inside. Can he go deep under braking? No. Paul Donkin goes really deep as well, hits the apex. But this battle is still going to continue. Paul Donkin, Andrew, he still has a two-car buffer between him and Nathan Davies for that Pro-Am lead. And this is who we're on board with. Nathan Davies, he's chasing that Red Bull livery car for the Pro-Am lead.
Lee Holmes going to look to the inside, and Abbey stays behind for now, though. What can Nathan Davies do here? A good run on Tom Griffiths. Does he take it to the inside for Village? No. Griffiths now going to look to the inside of Holmes, maybe. And they all stay in line. Oh, boy. This is just getting... I don't know. They're running out of time with their holding formation. They can't hold this formation for long. They can't stay this way forever. At some point, something's going to change, and it's going to change big. It's kind of like tectonic plates, right? Two plates can stay side by side, but there's activity. They might grind on things every once in a while, but they can only do that for so long. That pressure can only build up for so long, and eventually there's going to be that big slip. There's going to be that big earthquake. And look at that. I think it's starting to happen.
Yeah, there we go. So the tectonic plates are definitely moving, and we are seeing moves happening. You can see Paul Donkin defending, Lee Holmes trying to go around the outside. The iconic move is finally being done. The number 35 gets the move done so far. You can see he looks like he's trying to get a little bit of help by Tom Griffiths. Paul Donkin trying to hold it around the outside. He cannot really do it. Griffiths trying to get a good enough exit. Not quite. He's going to be vulnerable to Nathan Davies, who's going to go side by side with Paul Donkin for the Pro-Am lead. They're going to drag race over the line, and Nathan Davies might just get 2 positions in 2 corners.
Side by side through Abbey. Here we go. The inside is Davies, and he's going to bring Griffiths right back into this battle. Donkin has to move over for the time being, but he's not done. Gets the run through turn 2. Here we go. Tom Griffiths in the middle. Side by side for the Pro-Am lead. Donkin around the outside, and he loses so much time. Gets loose on exit. Drops a couple of spots. Side by side now with Ben Sharp. Now wide there again in 4. Gets back in behind car 24. Let's go on board with Paul Donkin as he drafts up to the back end of Ben Sharp, and Tom Griffith's going to bring the fight right back to Nathan Davies.
This is a fantastic battle. Paul Donkin just carried way too much speed into Village, but these two are still going side by side. Nathan Davies and Tom Griffiths. Griffiths on the inside of Stoll. He's going to get that position for the time being. Nathan trying to get a good enough run on the exit. You can see Paul Donkin. He already lost, but regained the position over Cockrell for 2nd place in the Pro-Am class. This is all sort of positions are moving on the bottom end of the top 10 engine. You can see here for 11th place, we already have a lot of positions. Sam Smith and Cockrell going at it. Sam Smith gets a little bit of that sausage curb on the exit. Is going to lose that position to Cockrell. They're still going to drag race, and we're going to go 3 wide.
Chris Knox, James Clark, and it looks like Jamie Gulliford side by side across the line just behind these couple of Excite teammates. And boy, are they exciting today. Chris Knox to bring the move here on, it looks like that is Sam Smith he's trying to battle with. No, that's Craig Cockrell. Sam Smith got ahead of these guys. So Chris Knox, Craig Cockrell side by side. James Clark there as well. Jamie Gulliford in the 15th position for reference as to where we're watching. So that first Excite car on screen ahead of the Lego 23, that is Sam Smith at 11th. And that final car in screen is, or at least really was, Jamie Gulliford. Now you can see they're moving around a little bit down the hangar straight. Oh boy, this has been wild.
It has been wild, and we're only pretty much halfway that on the number of races, Andrew. As soon as this end, we still have 2 more to go in the battle for the lead. Well, McNally definitely close up to the leaders. Fisher and Delmont still racing at it. Fisher very patient, Andrew. I wonder, can he not go for a move? Can he not like maybe keep up the pace or maybe force the number 77 into a mistake? Or is he just biding his time?
It's a really good question, and one that we're going to have to get an answer to at some point. What can Lars Fischer do from second place here? Let's go on board with car 96. His teammate won the first one. What can he do?
Well, he's definitely going to be trying to follow the footsteps of his teammate, but to do it first, he needs to get past Adam Delman, who, as soon as he took the lead, he's been in control of the pace. They all have pulled away from Cooper. Well, at least the gap is still stationary at 3 seconds. So the pace from the top 3, Andrew, is absolutely, well, on point. As looks like McEwen has a little bit of a problem. He's dropping all the way out of the top 10.
We have dropped connection to car number 4. McEwen is dropping out of the order. Oh, man. Heartbreak again for car 4. No, he's back. Maybe not heartbreak, but he was gone for a solid bit there, and we've seen this before where he's had issues. In fact, I think back to Silverstone last season where I believe he had some big issues. So Silverstone just not his thing, apparently.
Yeah, looks like might be his Achilles heel, might be his kryptonite, so hopefully he can fight those problems and essentially pull those problems behind him and maybe, who knows, win 1 or 2 races that still remain. But Andrew, with 1 minute and 10, who's going to come out on top? I definitely don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's so unpredictable. Maybe Cooper could still win this race, for all we know.
I wouldn't rule it out just yet, especially with these couple of Excite drivers ganging up on Lars Fischer here. Oh, there's the move from McNally. Round the outside, maybe a Village. He's going to take a look-see there. Almost had the spot now through turn 4. Gets a bit of a run there on the inside of that apex. And now Fischer has the inside again for turn 5 and onto the hanger straight. But McNally is able to get that power down. Power slide a little bit. What can he do? Gets over to the right side of the track. Delmont's going to over. Oh, it's a slowdown.
Oh, no.
A slowdown for McNally is really going to change this battle here. Delmont now almost has no fight behind him. Lars Fischer falling back, and Jason Cooper and Andy McEwen, they have split up pretty well. Lee Holmes is up behind that 4 car, though. It's not over for 5th. And Nathan Davies and Ben Sharp are after it. Here we go. Davies at the inside of Stowe, Sharp around the outside. And everything is going to hold for now. This is going to be it, though. This is the final lap. We're coming to checkers. We didn't even get a white flag. Presented by Whiplash Sim Cams this time. This is it for Adam Delmont. And out of turn number 9, out of club, that is going to be it for race number 2. Checkers fly.
Checkers flag. So Adam Delmont's going to win race number 2. Lars Fischer could not really fight back. Finishes in 2nd place. McNally's going to hold off into 3rd after that final lap. Slow down penalty. Cooper in 4th, McEwen in 5th, Holmes in 6th, Griffiths in 7th. Nathan Davies, Andrew, is going to win the Pro-Am class in 8th ahead of Sharp, and Paul Donkey is going to hold off for the top 10 as we nearly have a 3-wide finish back here.
Everybody comes across the line. Your Pro-Am winner, as mentioned, Nathan Davies in car 522. Your amateur winner will be Craig Schill in position 18 once again. And that comes over Mark Oliver, Duncan Cope, and Fiona Siddons. And it looks like we have 2 more cars to finish this race. Ollie Ricks and Nick Clibbins. Alistair Hatcher did not finish this race and will go down as 27th with an early exit. So let's see, we should still have 26 cars then available for our invert here in just one moment. Let's go ahead and break out the spinning wheel for the second time today, the second time this season. It was 17 for race 1. Let's see what we can do here going in, well, for race number 2, headed into race number 3. Is it going to be full?
21 maybe?
Not enough
It's gonna be just on the
momentum. 21. That is still a large portion of the field that goes all the way back to Mark Oliver in 21st. That is still a large portion of the field.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see race number 3. Is it going to be just as crazy as race number 2? We're just going to have to wait and see. But Adam Delmont managed to tame race number 2 to win ahead of Lars Fischer. McNally is going to finish 3rd ahead of Cooper, McEwen in 5th, Holmes in 6th, Tom Griffiths in 7th. Nathan Davies, as we mentioned, wins the Pro-Am class in 8th place ahead of Ben Sharp, and Paul Donkin holds off for the top 10.
Finishing in position number 11, you'll find car number 23. It's Chris Knox there in a really heated battle, spirited battle there with Sam Smith. Jamie Gulliford comes across in 13th. It's James Clark in 14th. Craig Cockrell rounds out your top 15. It's Thortolo 16th. A lot of these Pro-Am guys with some really good races, a lot of really good battles as well. Roger Morton there in car 592 will finish 17th in race number 2. Craig Schill still picks up that amateur win. Julian Schroer there in 19th and James Neve in 20th.
21st place goes to Mark Oliver. Duncan Cope is going to finish in 22nd. 23rd go the ways of Fiona Siddons. Ollie Ricks in 24th. 25th for Nick Clibbins, and he's going to be the last driver to finish on the lead lap because Douglas Stewart finishes in 26th place, 1 lap down. Alistair Hatcher 10 laps down in 27th, and Liam Silkstone 13 laps down in 28th place.
So 28 cars, and Liam did not take the green flag, so really 27 cars here in this second race. How will things change up for race number 3? A whole lot of questions about to be answered. And just to check on that weather one more time, yeah, it held about even 82 degrees on the track. We'll see if that changes for race number 3 here in just a few more moments. A lot of racing left to go here at Pit Stop TV. And before we go for our intermission for the second time today, a reminder to follow us on social media. All of the links there down below: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. We are on them all, and you should definitely follow along for social media updates, news, stories, what have you, and even streams on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. It's been a lot of fun so far. It will continue to be a lot of fun today. Don't go anywhere. 2 more races just like that on the way from Silverstone on the shorter international circuit. Oh boy, it's going to be a lot of fun. We love these British sim racers. Welcome back to the virtual Silverstone circuit. One race gives way to another, as per usual. 4 races per day for the British Sim Racers, and this is race number 3. The weather seeing a bit of an uptick again in that temperature, JP. Up from 82 degrees to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's starting to get just a little bit warmer as the day wears on. Of course, this one of the shorter layouts here at Silverstone. It's a whole lot of fun. Look at all those drafting opportunities. Even from 6 down to 7, that run through Vale, that's a good opportunity to set up a pass into that hairpin, or not into that hairpin, but into that chicane before you come around club and finish up the lap. It's been exciting so far today, and we've got another grid ready to go racing. 28 cars ready to get back after it, and you can see Mark Oliver going to start on pole, James Neave from 2nd, Julian Schroer 3rd, Craig Schill roll off from the 4th spot, Roger Morton 5th, and Thor Tillo 6th, and so on and so forth throughout the field of 28. We've got 2 races done, those going to Jason Cooper and I gotta think, Adam McNally, or was it Delmont that race? Delmont, I was going to say, yes, Delmont that second race. It's been a lot of fun so far today, and it's going to continue to be a whole lot of fun. You know why? Because it's the British Sim Racers. Red lights are on, ready for racing one more time. Race 3 on the way. Waiting on those green lights as per usual, and finally green lights are on. Green flag is out. Race 3 underway. All the way up front, on board Mark Oliver. Here we go into Village, and James Neave even taking point through turn 3 for the first time. You can see the field working on through turn 3. Man, I love these onboard shots. One car in the dirt. Who was that at a 3rd? It's hard to tell, actually. Mark Oliver around from 2nd.
That's the 2nd or 3rd time we saw drivers spinning out of control in that corner, so just a bit too power eager looks like, and unfortunately for him, he's going to be dropping all the way to the back of the grid. And look at this, Andrew. This is, I guess, the busiest we've had the back straightaway throughout the day. Looks like a few drivers going down the inside, positions that are going to be shuffling, but look at that view.
That is a lot of race cars. 27 or so still in this group, actually, has worked down through Vale into turn 7. Ben Sharp, a straight line, and oh, he cleaned somebody out. Who was that he hit? That was, I believe, it was one of the Excite cars, and we're still crashing. Chaos.
Absolute chaos on the final few corners. I expect a little bit. We were
They're
almost
still
going full wide,
crashing.
and yes, more.
Oh my goodness, Lee Holmes off in the dirt. What a way to end lap 1.
Well, it was definitely a side engine. Looks like Lee's just rejoining the racetrack. We definitely need a replay to see exactly what happened, because boy oh boy, we went 4 wide on the final corner of the racetrack. I definitely did not expect, but it all happens. It all started to happen in the back straightaway.
Watch Ben Sharp here. That admittedly is where this all starts. So he gets back ahead of Roger Morton there into Stowe. Let's go on board with Ben. Who does he hit in all of this? He hits one of the Excite cars. He just makes a beeline, a straight line to the turn 7 apex. This was never going to work, and this is going to go down in the stewards meeting in the wrong way. He comes right into Sam Smith right there and just cleans him out.
Yeah, absolutely. Just way too eager on the brake. Maybe way too eager. And that just forms a whole cascade effect, just a snowball. That one incident leads to another, and you can see a few cars spinning. Roger Morton was one of the victims as well, and we had cars going on the outside and on the inside as well. So, yeah, big incident to start off race number 3.
Let's see what happens here with Roger Morton and everybody else as they head into turn 7 for the first time in race number 3. Man, this land rush. It's just insane the way these starts kind of work out. And oh, he even had Nathan Davies up the inside, an aggressive move. You can see McEwen and all of that. And then we'll have to get one more replay, it looks like, for Lee Holmes, as he had an issue with Jason Cooper. Wow, look at that. 4, 5, 6 wide even as they worked out of turn number 8 and into the club for the first time in this race. Just wow. Simply wow.
Wow, indeed. We're already speechless kind of by the end of lap 1, Andrew. So I'm not quite sure if this is a good sign of things to come, but it was definitely a hectic race number 1. And now we're going to see the unfortunate incident that collected Lee Holmes.
This was somebody else. I think this might have been... Oh, this would have been Craig Schill, I think.
Oh, so Cooper gets a bit of ghost contact with Lee Holmes. Gets really lucky on the rejoin to not be collected. Craig Schill
I'm not
is down
sure.
to the back straightaway. I'm pretty sure it was Lee Holmes actually
Well, you know,
that got
ATVO was...
spun around.
It might have. It might have been Lee Holmes. Oh, I guess it was Lee Holmes. All right, let's go back and get it one more time. And see exactly how this all breaks down. So Jason Cooper, out of all of this, where does he sort out? He is racing with, yes, Lee Holmes, car 35, and they just kind of meet on the exit curbing, and I don't know that I can blame either one in that situation.
Yeah, just kind of one moved, across each other, and just luckily for Lee Holmes, I guess, there wasn't a lot of damage. It looks like a pretty light impact to the tire barrier, so he can just keep on going. And, well, obviously not the greatest start for him, but, sometimes that just happens. It's just racing. Neve, on the other hand, Andrew has a 1.3 second lead ahead of Cockrell in second place, McEwen in third, Thulo, and then it was momentarily Craig Schill in fifth place.
Yeah, so Craig Schill gets through all of that, does not get collected in that mayhem, and is now in sixth, leading an amateur. That's going to be a lot of points if he can hang on to any of those. And James Neve is just out to lunch. He's got a nice little lead over Craig Cockrell. There we go. I'll get that name down eventually. And Andy McEwen in third. Thortullo even a little ways back. Jason Cooper. So the front of this field nice and spread out. That's exactly what car 7 needs right now. This could be a nice little points haul if he can hang on to this one. Further back, Thortullo and Andy McEwen, they're a little closer. And Jason Cooper actually is under fire almost from Nathan Davies.
Yeah, he's currently facing a little bit of pressure. I'm not quite sure if he's going to shake off. You can see even a few battles right behind him, but Nathan Davies looking extremely racy. Obviously, he's going to be learning a lot as well, Andrew, being behind Cooper, and that could really help him, if not only on this race, on the final race as well, but look at this train of cars that we have.
3 Excite cars in a row following that 88 Tech 982 of Craig Schill. Now, Schill has an overall race win that came last season at Daytona, but he's under fire from some of the best in the business. Here comes Delmont, who just won race number 2 up the inside. Is he going to have it in stow, or can Schill defend on the outside? And that is definitely Delmont's position. McNally going to try and find something, some way to get around that 982 car now. Can he do it? Does Craig maybe have something for turn 7 potentially? Back to the inside of Delmont. He looks. He goes to the move. Sticks it side by side. I like that nice assertion there from Craig Schill. Like, hey, I'm not going to roll over. I'm not just going to give it to you just because you're a pro. And now you've got to deal with your teammate as well. Here comes McNally.
And so McNally is going to be trying to, essentially capitalize on that little battle that they have. And now look at the teammates helping each other. So essentially giving the draft and essentially a bump draft as well for the teammates to make sure McNally moves up into that 10th spot. And unfortunately for Schill, he's going to be losing. It looks like 11th place, but a little bit of contact between him and Tom Griffiths looks like sends Tom way wide. And Lars Fisher is going to retain that 12th place, essentially going to get that 12th place. But that was a nice little battle. I really liked seeing that.
Now Jason Cooper on the back end of car 544. That's Thortullo in new colors. It's still very weird to see Thor in 88 Tech colors, but I like to see that he's joined that team and is doing really good for it as well here. 4th so far in race 3. Oh, that's going to change as Cooper goes along by... man, I had my thoughts together, and then I saw the way Cooper just stuck that through Stowe. Let's watch on board for a moment and just get an idea of what he's doing around here. A little aggressive there for 7, but it works out nicely. Right back to the curbing there in 8. Tracks out nicely for Club, and right back to the apex right there. He's just got such a control over these Mazda Miatas. I don't know what it is, but he's got it figured out.
Absolutely. Just being smooth is definitely going to get him a couple of tenths each lap, and you can see, obviously, there's a few corrections due to the Mazda Miata, but overall, Andrew's just smooth sailing at one point. It's just incredible to see the onboard of of him driving. He's currently 1.1 seconds behind McEwen, so it's going to be interesting to see if that gap closes up. One gap that really closed up, Andrew, is first and second. Cockrell only 0.3 of a second behind Neve, so those two might have a battle soon, so we might see a change for the lead in the upcoming laps.
We'll see what goes on here as Cockrell starts to draft up to car 7. Oh, and a wide entry to Stowe there for car 546. So he falls back just a little bit. Won't have a move yet. We're expecting 12 laps now in this race, a little bit slower pace than previously. And Cockrell, it looks like, happy to sit just behind car 7 for right now and kind of wait on his opportunity. No rush just yet. 6 minutes of racing to go for these guys. And of course, they're going to get flipped around in some regard. We've seen 17, we've seen 21. What's the invert for race 4? Boy, who knows?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one, especially, Andrew, it looks like the trend is well over 20 cars on the same line. Currently, we have 26, so boy, it's definitely interesting as we are now looking at Ben Sharp trying to find a way past Nathan Davies, the car just ahead of him. Nathan goes really wide on turn number 2. That might just compromise a little bit of his line in turn number 3. Ben Sharp going with that optimal racing line, and looks like even Thor Tula went a little bit too wide, so this is an interesting 3-car battle. You can see Davies going down the inside, and look at Ben Sharp. He's going to get both of them.
What a send there from Nathan Davies. He's always aggressive and showing it here. Is Donkin's going to make it 4 wide maybe? Yes, he goes 4 wide on the hanger straight, and he's going to pick up 3 spots in that one move alone. Paul Donkin showing he means business. Round the outside, 3 wide in Stowe. Mirrors touching, doors banging, and they stay after it. They'll run down through Vale now. Nathan Davies side by side with Ben Sharp on the outside. Paul Donkin right back down to the apex. He's not done. Moves over. Takes the spot. He got all 3 of those positions, but he's not done just yet. 3 wide again. They'll run through Club.
What an incredible battle. Paul Donkin almost got all of them. Unfortunately, he's going to be losing nearly all those spots he once made up. Look at it going 3 wide once again. Is that Adam Delmont? On the inside, yes, it is down the inside of turn number 1. He's going to be trying to get the position over Paul Donkin. He couldn't really get there, but look at this battle. Davies and Sharp trying to get the position back is Nathan Davies. He's going to be looking to the outside of turn number 3. He cannot really do that, but what a battle, Andrew, we just had. What a confidence from Paul Donkin.
And in the midst of all of that, we've had a lead change. Pro-Am, Craig Cockrell, in his first outing with this series, up to P1. How about car 546? He's got a nice little lead. A car, half car length, quarter of a car length out of Stowe over James Neve, and a little ways back to Jason Cooper and Andy McEwen, who are doing battle here for the 3rd and 4th position.
McEwen unfortunately losing that spot to Jason Cooper. He's going to be looking down the outside of turn 7, so he's essentially going to be trying to do what Cooper has been doing for the past 2 races. Cannot really do that, so Cooper, after finding that 1 second gap, just essentially closed up and made that move stick. So he's up into 4th place, and Andrew, he's up into 3rd, sorry. And if you're Cockrell, you only have 1 car between you and the reigning champion with 3.5 minutes to go. Wow, you really have to essentially put the pedal to the metal if you want that overall race victory.
You got to hold James Neve behind you as long as possible, make it as difficult to pass as possible. Here we go. Neve down to the inside of Village. Is he going to have that spot? Yes, he is. So as soon as I say he's got to make it difficult, well, he makes it a little too easy for him. But you know what? This is still okay. He's got 5 seconds back to Nathan Davies, his closest class competition. So it's okay if he lets these guys go on by in the grand scheme of things. He doesn't have to be too aggressive, as you can see them file through turn 5 there. And onto the hanger straight. And look at everything happening back there. Let's follow these guys into Stowe, then pick them up in a moment as Cooper is into the inside. And he's going to take that spot away. Let's pick up Nathan Davies and the rest of them. Ben Sharp battling here. You've got Delmont. You've got McNally. The whole lot of them.
The whole lot of them. You can see Davies still side by side with Sharp. He's gonna get the advantage on the exit of Stowe, and I was just looking at that, Andrew, actually on the timing sheets. Cooper got the position, got the lead of the race momentarily, but he's gonna be settling for 2nd place. Behind him, Ben Sharp on the outside of turn 7. He's gonna be trying to get that move done. Now forced to the outside. They're gonna go side by side through Club, and looks like it's still side by side. We're gonna go 3 wide, maybe even 4. No, just 3 wide for the time being.
3 wide for 5th. And we got a 4-car battle still up ahead for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. My goodness, this is just fantastic stuff. This is a great way to open the season. He says battle Nathan Davies and Delmont hard on the brakes, right to the inside there, and Village takes the spot away for a moment. Contact on exit. They work through the loop, and they'll head down to Chapel.
There we go, just orderly like that. Ben Sharp is going to be leading this train. Cooper got the lead over Neve on the 1st sector of the racetrack, so He's just a reigning champion, isn't he, Andrew? I don't think we're too surprised seeing this, but it's still amazing to see the
It's not
racecraft
over.
of the number one. It's definitely not over. Neve tried to look down the inside. Unfortunately, that move is gonna set him back around half a second. And look at McEwen; he might be looking down and move on the inside. And you can see Paul Duncan essentially defending and attacking at the same time over Tom Griffiths. He's gonna have the inside line. The teammates are essentially in a line once again, Andrew. Wow, this is fantastic. They're still side by side on the final sector, but looks like Griffiths got that position for the time being.
You can go anywhere in this field and find a good battle right now, except for maybe first, as Jason Cooper ekes out an advantage, and we are onto the white flag, the final lap, presented by Whiplash Simcams for Jason Cooper in car number 1. It's car 7 in second place, car 4 in third. That is Neve and McEwen, with Craig Cockrell sitting nicely in fourth place. Ben Sharp in fifth over Nathan Davies, who was in a battle with a whole bunch of pros. Your next Pro-Am is actually Paul Donkin back here in the 10th position. And your first of the amateur drivers is Craig Schill in a battle with Sam Smith, actually, as they work over the hill and down to Chapel for the final time. There we go. Jason Cooper up ahead. He's nicely out ahead. I don't think that's going to change. I don't understand how he is so good, but he is so good. Here's a battle for third. McEwen having to defend over Cockrell. And we're going to have a nice battle for fifth as well. Here we go.
Yeah, look at that. Sharp leading this group. You can see Davies and Delmont going side by side. So race 2 winner Delmont is gonna battle side by side. Although Cooper, well, won race number 1, won the championship last season. He's gonna win race number 3 as well. Sharp is gonna be leading this train. This battle is definitely not over. Cooper over Neve over McEwen, Cockrell. Sharp is gonna finish 7th. Looks like 6 will go the ways of Delmont. Nathan Davies might just hold off McNally and Griffiths. Yes, he does.
Wow. Gulliford comes to a stop just beyond the start-finish line. Schroer over there as well for Team Gonzo Racing. Wow. I'm just in disbelief of the racing we continue to see in this series, and I need to catch my breath after that one. I don't know about you, JP, but I need to catch my breath after that one.
Oh, me too. That was the craziest, the best race that we've had today. Wow, and we still have one more, Andrew. That's the nature of BSR. 3 great races, and maybe the best for last with 22 inverts. Well, I'm ready for it.
It was headed like it was maybe going to go all the way to full, but just a little shy. It's been teasing us all day, but it's only a difference of 4 cars, so it's not too bad. That is still the largest invert of the day, and we'll go all the way back to Alistair Hatcher, who will now take pole position for the final race on the afternoon. Let's go ahead and pull up our race results from race number 3, the penultimate race on the day. Jason Cooper, another race win, JP.
Yeah, another one. So he won race number 1, wins race number 3, beats James Neve on the final few laps. Pretty sure the second to last lap, he beats the number 7. Andy McEwen is going to finish in 3rd for an all-out pro podium. Craig Cockrell is going to win the Pro-Am class in 4th place overall. A really good race for him as well. Ben Sharp is going to be leading that train in 5th place. Adam Delman is going to finish in 6th ahead of Nathan Davies. Is going to be 2nd place in the Pro-Am. McNally is going to finish in 8th ahead of Tom Griffiths and Paul Donkin in 10th place.
Finishing 11th, you'll find car 544, one of the 88 tech machines now. Thortillo moved down from Pro to Pro-Am, and I think it's fitting pretty nicely. He seems to have some pretty good racing, and hopefully can move back up into Pro next season. It's Lars Fisher in 12th, James Clark in 13th, Sam Smith there in 14th spot ahead of Liam Silverstone. That's your top 15. Craig Schill in 16th, Julian Schroer 17th, and Mark Oliver, Lee Holmes, and Nick Clivens round out your field. Well, your top 20.
21st place and 2nd place on the invert is going to be Chris Knox, so he's going to be starting 2nd place. Alistair Hatcher is going to be starting in pole position by finishing 22nd place. Ollie Ricks, Andrew, by less than 3 seconds, is going to start in 23rd place ahead of Roger Morton, who's going to be starting 24th. Duncan Cope finishes in 25th. Jamie Gulliford in 26th, and only 2 cars don't finish on the lead lap, those being Douglas Stewart in 27th and Fiona Siddons in 28th.
Once more, we invite you to check us out on social media, follow along for all kinds of updates and news stories and what have you, and certainly some of the upcoming broadcasts here on Pit Stop TV. We're not done just yet today, but after we are done with race number 4 in a little bit, you can, well, wait on us for a couple of hours, then we'll have North American Racing League coverage with Porsche Cup cars at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. That should be a whole lot of fun at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. A 30-minute amateur race followed by a 50-minute Pro-Am race with some big names as well. Then Wednesday, tomorrow evening, it's the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Outlaws Sim Series at 7:30 Eastern before we resume BSR action with BSR TC on Thursday from Silverstone at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 p.m. UK. And then, of course, we have NARL action that evening as well. And Sunday even, we have a new league. We'll talk more about that later on, but a whole lot of broadcasts coming up at Pit Stop TV, and you can follow along in a plethora of ways as always. But first, before we take our final intermission on the day, JP, let's talk more about the schedule. We're just about done with round 1 on this list. Silverstone International to be exact. Donington Park next week. What do you make of it?
Oh, it's definitely going to be a fantastic one. Obviously, the drivers have already a bit of practice over last season, so it's going to be interesting as well to compare the pace of the drivers in qualifying, obviously the race as well. They should be quite familiar where you can and cannot overtake, and obviously they should be familiar with, their competitors' strengths and weaknesses on the circuit. So it should be a very, very fun challenge for these drivers, and I cannot wait. Next week can come soon enough.
And I know we talked about tracks that, maybe is your favorite on this list. If you had to go outside of Road Atlanta, what are you looking at?
The reverse of Knock Hill seems like a great challenge, I'm not gonna lie. The Knock Hill was fantastic last season. Throwing that on reverse, it's gonna be a challenge on itself. I have to go for that one. Knock Hill in reverse. That's gonna be so much fun as well.
Yeah, we had, of course, Knock Hill on the schedule last season, very new to the iRacing.com sim, and we had some great racing on the normal layout there, but I've not seen action on the reverse layout, so I'm actually pretty intrigued as well to see how that goes and see what kind of changes that brings exactly to how you approach certain corners. Obviously, it's going to be completely different, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing how round 3 goes on April 5th. And I'm, again, I harken back to Sonoma. I think the draft battles at Road America, Watkins Glen, and Daytona are going to be a lot of fun. Even Sebring in that list. Really, a lot of long straightaways on this schedule, actually. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, you still have that Andretti straightaway, but it's just not the same. I'm trying to think. You don't have very long straights at Sonoma, so that's going to be your most technical course, I think, of the American swing. Road America is, I want to say most technical, maybe not most technical, but you get the point. Most flowing, maybe, as Road America is going to be a lot of straightaway, Watkins Glen, a lot of straightaway. Road Atlanta, you have a lot of straightaway with that backstretch from turn 7 all the way down to turn 10. And Daytona is Daytona. I don't think we have to cover that one. But Sebring, of course, a lot of straightaways as well. There's a lot of straightaways in these American tracks that they picked out. So some draft battles on the way, certainly, no matter what series we're looking at with the British Sim Racers. That said, race 4 is on the way. It is on deck with an invert of 22. And if you want to catch it, you've got to stay with us here at Pit Stop TV. You can't go anywhere just yet. Go ahead and grab yourself a snack, though. By all means, grab yourself a refreshment. Go ahead and hydrate for the day. You want to make sure you get that 8 glasses of water in. So, by all means, get some water, come on back with a snack, and we'll be seeing you in just a little bit for race number 4 of round number 1. Welcome back to the virtual Silverstone circuit. 3 races done and dusted. That means 1 race is left to go. And the sim has taken on some clouds. It is overcast. It is 65 degrees. The track is cooling back down. The coolest we've seen it all day, in fact, and tire temps. Well, forget about those. It's going to be tough to build those. And we've seen this before, JP. We are seeing it again. No surprise. It's going to be tough.
Absolutely, we came full circle. The racing day started quite cool, and then it got really heated up really quickly on the weather side, and then, well, coming back to cool down. So if the driver had any luck and found himself at 1 with the car on race number 1, he should be feeling right at home again in race number 4, which obviously is the last race of the day, Andrew, on this beautiful international layout at Silverstone. What is your favorite corner around here?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. The national layout, I would have to say Cops, definitely. Just because it's difficult. I'm not good at it, but it's just a difficult challenge here. That's a really good question. I want to say Stowe, even though it, again, is very difficult. And I wouldn't usually like a flat sweeper like that. But I think Cops and Stowe really just fit nicely. On these 2 layouts. They certainly, I think, dictate most of your lap time, just because of how integral they are to the rest of the lap. But yeah, definitely, I think Stowe would probably be the one that stands out to me, or Club. Club feels pretty nice when you get it just right. So yeah, I would have to go with either one of those. We have 20 some odd cars, in fact 27, ready to go for race number 4. That number has held just about steady the entire afternoon, and it's going to stay that way for the final race on the day. We've got just a few more cars waiting to grid up, including our pole sitter, Alistair Hatcher. We'll see if Alistair does grid up. Yes, there is Alistair. We should actually get our countdown to green here, and yes, we do. Red lights on, waiting on the green lights for race number 4. Racing is underway. There we go. Down to Village for the first time, and 88 Tech teammates making contact after Nick Clibbins got into... Oh, there's Alistair Hatcher. Alistair spins out of the way. Nobody hits him. How about it?
Wow, that
Incredible.
was really close. Yes, that was amazing. That was a really close call. Luckily for him, no damage, no further damage. But unfortunately, to the back of the grid he goes, and we have even more. It looks like 88 Tech machines spinning around.
His teammate Craig Schill around. He's won every single amateur race so far, but that might change now. Here we go. For the top 2, it's Chris Knox, it's Nick Clibbins, and Lee Holmes in behind. This could be a whole lot of fun down through Vale for the first time in this final race of the day. Just over a minute already lapsed, and oh, Nick Clibbins in deep, goes spinning through turn 7, and oh my goodness, the start for Nick Clibbins in this final race. Absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, it was looking so good in second place, even challenging for first, but unfortunately, all that work has been undone. He still has dirty tires. Yeah, that was an amazing drift. He definitely got his heart beating a little bit faster, but unfortunately for him, he's going to be losing quite a few positions. That leaves Lee Holmes in second place, half a second behind Knox. Smith and Silverstone in third and fourth. This is a battle for the Pro-Am lead, and is that McEwen?
Andy McEwen has all kinds of damage to his number 4 machine, and he tries to get back going. He is back going, albeit rather wounded. That car is destroyed. My goodness. The hits just keep on coming.
Absolutely, and that was a big hit by McEwen, so wondering if it was a self-inflicted wound or maybe a contact of some sort, but Lee Holmes definitely closing in the gap. Smith and Silverstone are definitely going at it. Schroer and Thortulo as well are really close. That's a 4-car essentially pack by Schroer, Thulo, Griffiths, and Clark. Really interesting to see those 4 cars battling, and obviously we have a few extra cars. You can see even a few of them. Maybe that is a penalty, Andrew, by one of those cars going down in the pit lane, but look at this battle.
This is your proper midfield, well down deep in the order. Paul Donkin, Roger Morton, Douglas Stewart, Mark Oliver, and some others as they work out a club now. They were mixing things around just a few moments ago. Now they get single file. Let's go back towards the front. Julian Schroer, Thortulo, Tom Griffiths, even Sam Smith is slow.
Oh, is that a slowdown penalty? It has to be, right?
I don't know what else it would be, and he just lost a lot of positions. He's all the way down to 13th now. He was well up the running order. Now dropping almost out of the top 15 entirely. Let's go back up a few positions, though. James Clark, Nathan Davies, and some others doing battle. They work out of Chapel down the hanger straight one more time.
And look at this train. Everybody's going to be slipstreaming. We have a few cars looking already down the inside. This is going to be a fun battle to show. And, well, I might see two simultaneously moves. No, not quite. Because if you drivers going side by side and injured, this is just going to be the norm. The last race of the day. Do you allow yourself to be more aggressive?
Oh, you've got to be with some of these guys. You've absolutely got to be. We're on board now with Adam McNally. Clark made a big move there. Watching Ben Sharp and Nathan Davies side by side. And here we go. Big run for McNally. Goes up the right side. That is 3 wide. And he's going to take 2 spots away in club alone. What a move there from Adam McNally.
That was absolutely beautiful. Sharp still kind of holding around the outside. He's going to have to yield that position, trying to not lose a lot of time in comparison to his fellow competitors. You can see Shower really defending from Griffiths, who's still yet to choose. Looks like the line he wants into turn number 3. He goes for the outside, the racing line. He gets a good enough exit, but not close enough down into turn number 5 to essentially overtake the 578 just ahead of him. But looks like Shower got quite a bit out of shape. He's going to have to go defensive already, but Tom Griffiths should have this position by the end of the straightaway.
Griffith's going to take that one away, it looks like, and he will do exactly that as he chases down the top 3. Lee Holmes now leading the race over Chris Knox and Liam Silverstone. And how about Liam Silverstone? He's suddenly in contention to maybe finally get that overall win, JP. It's not over just yet. And with Chris Knox and Lee Holmes after it up ahead, yeah, Liam Silverstone might be in a really good spot.
Absolutely. Those two racing will definitely bring that gap closer. It's already less than a second. It should definitely only grow closer. So the possibility of that maiden victory coming for the number 594 is definitely real, Andrew. And I would like to bet on him. I don't want to throw my commentator's curse at him, but, you know, it would definitely be a welcome change. You can see Cooper going down the inside of Nathan Davies for 10th place. They're going to go side by side through turns 1 and turns 2. Chris Knox gets the lead back, but Lee Holmes holds it around the outside, and through this first section, the number 35 will have the advantage.
Once again, really good battles all over the racetrack. Lee Holmes back to point. You can see the entire field filing onto the hanger straight. Shower a little out of shape there, giving some spots up. Well, not some spots up, but some time up to the cars behind. Next up behind will be Ortolo to draft up. You see the rest of all these guys in line, and Lee Holmes under fire again. Knocks right back to the inside for Stowe. And this is everything that Liam Silverstone wants to see.
Absolutely. He just wants to see, you know, that gap coming down and down and down. Obviously, he has Tom Griffiths approaching, but he should be able to defend at least for a little bit.
Well,
if
those are
not,
teammates.
Well,
Silverstone
yeah, absolutely.
and Griffiths are teammates.
Oh, yeah, true. So, yeah, they're teammates. So, he'll definitely have that helping hand on him. You can see Chris Knox gets the lead back. And Andrew, even if we weren't focusing on Silverstone, this is an amazing battle for the lead, switching left, right, and center between those two.
This is really good stuff for position number 1. Chris Knox and Lee Holmes trading paint, trading positions. As Silverstone now has a go. He's right on the back end of the 35 car, goes to the inside of Lee Holmes for Village, and he is going to point that nose right to Apex and try and take it away. Nothing there just yet. Got to wait to make that move.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait a little bit, trying to get a good enough exit out of here. And maybe the number 35 does so. He's really close to number 23. We could see yet another change for the lead. Silverstone still only looking, you know, still only lurking within those two rear view mirrors. Maybe just waiting, Andrew, for a possibility of a contact between those two.
He would certainly welcome it. Side by side again. Oh, Chris Knox about came over Liam Silverstone's nose there. That was a bit aggressive. Slots into second place, though, and they will continue to see a little bit more racing. They will live to see the next corner as Knox back up the inside of 7. Just won't let this one go. This is good.
Absolutely, this is fantastic. You can see Knox goes really wide. He's going to be losing the position to Silverstone. Not quite enough. He's going to get a good enough run on the exit of 8 to go side by side of Lee Holmes down into turn number 1. That's only bringing everybody closer together. Silverstone cannot really line up a move since these two are just going at it, Andrew. Every single braking zone, we see either the number 35 or the number 23 on the inside lane.
He's got to bring Tom Griffiths with him and try and do something here. As side by side again, knocks back to the inside. And actually, they've got another Excite car behind him joining the fray. I think that's McNally. Yes, it is for 5th place. McNally has joined as well. So 3 Excite cars in a line here to fight Knox and Holmes. That's not McNally. Who is that behind him?
Yes, it is McNally behind Griffiths.
Well, it is, but he's not in this group. I had seen another Excite car. Who is the extra car?
No.
Thank you. That is Delmont. A lap down.
Yeah, so a lap down, so a teammate might help them. I saw maybe a little bit of contact between Holmes and Knox that almost allowed Silverstone to go side by side with the number 23, the Lego machine, but it looks like he was not close enough. These two are just going at it, Andrew. That has been, what, 3, 4, 5 laps already of side-by-side battling? This is amazing to watch. Silverstone losing a little bit of ground to Knox. Maybe Griffiths will find a way past his teammate as we have even further battles. Looks like Sharp trying to go down the inside of Julian Schroer down into turn number 1.
Battling all over the racetrack. Ben Sharp setting up for a pass potentially on Julian Schroer here. And this would be good for 6th position if Sharp can get it. And he's going to try heavy braking into Village. Takes that spot away. Thortillo slots him behind and will have to ride and wait for his own opportunity to get on by. That is the wrong logo there. But we continue on, and this has just been good stuff the entire race. I've never seen this amount of battles continue on for this amount of time as we have another one side by side. I know we saw great racing, exciting racing last season. I know we saw a lot of this, but they've continued this without crashing. We saw the crashes last season. We have not seen the crashes yet this season.
Yeah, absolutely not. This has been, setting up the bar for the rest of the season. So I wouldn't expect anything less. And obviously the nature of Chris Knox and Lee Holmes just going at it lap after lap after lap, is really helping, this. But, the rest of the field as well, as Silverstone goes really wide and he's going to be conceding 3rd place to his teammate Tom Griffiths. So a change for 3rd place between those two teammates. So we might see even one more car battling for 1st. But yeah, Andrew, this has been absolutely fantastic. And these two have been keeping it clean for the whole race so far.
Everybody's been clean so far today. I think the biggest mistake we saw was Ben Sharp with that incident in the previous race. So really, I think that's been the biggest thing. Otherwise, it's been really clean racing, small mistakes here and there, and you'll get that in racing, especially these Miatas at tracks like this. Although, here we have a crash. James Clark and some others, Lars Fisher involved. As soon as I say we don't have a crash, we get a crash.
Yeah, that's commentator's curse to its
somebody's
finest.
on their
And we have a
lid.
car flipped.
Alistair Hatcher.
So from pole position to being upside down on the runoff area, definitely not the race that the number 979 wanted to essentially cap off the round number 1.
Oh, look at this. Back up to the front. Lee Holmes takes the lead back away from Chris Knox. It's getting fun. Tom Griffiths just behind. Liam Silverstone there as well. This is going to be a fun run to the checkers. 4 laps to go, maybe 3 this time by.
It's going to be really, really great to see these guys going at it. Only a handful of laps to go. And they're closer than ever, Andrew. I didn't expect to say that, but they're closer than ever with Tom Griffiths really approaching now. Chris Knox might have to go defensive for 2nd place. No, he goes kind of down the inside of Lee Holmes. Lee goes really wide, feeling a little bit of that pressure. So the Lego machine might just have a run down into turn number 5. Now he's going to line up for the exit and maybe drag race him down into, turns number 6. God, this is lining up and I'm running out of breath.
On board with Lee Holmes, your race leader. Chris Knox in behind. Does he go for Stowe? Yes, Chris Knox down to the inside. Of course he would. It's Chris Knox after all. Griffith's going to follow.
can see side by side between the leaders, down into turn number 6, down into Stowe. Griffiths trying to follow the Lego machine. Now he's going to switch maybe to the inside to follow Lee Holmes. Yes, he does so. Trying to get the best of both worlds, and well, he's in third place. He can definitely afford to do that. Now taking it a little bit easy because Chris Knox takes the lead, but they both go really wide. Griffiths gets one position, has to kind of brake check, and he moves up into second place. Andrew, we have a change for the second, and they're going to drag race down into turn number 1, but Griffiths should have that position.
Griffiths now to the inside for Abbey. Takes that spot away, it looks like. And yes, he will have it over Lee Holmes. Although Lee Holmes is not done just yet. Side by side into Village. Almost contact for second. And Liam Silverstone sits behind these two. Lee Holmes now on the left side of the racetrack. The outside for turn 5. And look at that. Tom gives it back up, knowing he can get this run and clear him by Stowe.
Yeah, I mean, with this drag race, maybe even with the help of Chris Knox just ahead a little bit of the slipstream, Griffiths should have second place, and while his teammate's going to try to follow him on the inside line, so Lee Holmes might drop all the way down into 4th place in the upcoming few corners. Yeah, he goes a little bit too wide. He's going to be fighting Silverstone on the exit.
Oh, Lee Holmes a bobble there out of turn 7. That's going to open the door to Liam Silverstone. Silverstone goes by. Here comes Delmont. Delmont not for position. Backs out of it. McNally is. Ben Sharp is 6th. So 6th car is in a line. And this looks to be white flag. This time presented by Whiplash Simcams.
So one final lap for these guys. One final lap. Chris Knox has half a second advantage over Tom Griffiths, who only has, well, 0.3 of a second advantage over his teammate. So really interesting battle. Sharp as well in a close little battle with McNally. Still all to play for in the top 6, Andrew.
Meanwhile, further back, Greg Schill, your amateur race leader. Very quiet day. He is sitting in the 20... No, he's not the amateur race leader anymore. Mark Oliver has taken it over. There's actually a battle just ahead of him with Roger Morton and Lars Fischer. These two sorting things out. Mark Oliver, then, the amateur leader in position number 16, just behind these two. And your Pro-Am leader, of course, Liam Silverstone, in that battle up front with Tom Griffiths and Chris Knox. Here we go. Final lap. Into Stowe. Knox has got the spot for now. Griffiths back around the outside and a run. He's going to run down through Vale side by side to the chicane for the final time. Turn 7, a left-hander, then a right-hander. Griffiths sits back. Holmes up the inside. Hits Silverstone. It's a 2-car race for the win. Knox with the advantage. No, here comes Tom Griffiths and through club for the final time. Is he going to have just enough to get it? A drag race to the line. So close.
Well, Knox just got him by 22 thousandths of a second. A photo finish between the leaders. Silverstone, after that little bit of contact, is going to hold off for 3rd place. McNally in 4th. And Lee Holmes in 5th place. Andrew, what a race we just had.
And these two are side by side as well. Another drag race, maybe. Fiona Siddons and Douglas Stewart to the line. Who can get it? It's Fiona Siddons around the outside. That's good enough for 21st.
Yes, wow. No, wait, Douglas Stewart did get the position over Fiona.
Scoring should hopefully change. Visually, Fiona was definitely ahead there, but we'll let scoring officially change here in a moment. One more car to come across the start-finish line, and that will be the damaged Andy McEwen. And that will wrap up our race at Silverstone, our day of racing here at Silverstone, and hopefully some results will change back over. What a race. What a finish up in front, though, with Chris Knox and Tom Griffiths. That is how you end things out.
Absolutely. What a battle. What a race-long battle we've had. Wow, was it fun. You can see Knox goes a little bit defensive, maybe a little bit too defensive. Ends up working out, but obviously Tom Griffiths got the run on mid-corner, and obviously on the exit they're gonna door bang a little bit, and then Chris is gonna go really deep under braking to essentially hold that position. Griffiths kind of just breaks to get the better racing line. His teammate kind of suffers with it, and then the exit, well, that shallower line through turn 7 really did help, and it was just a drag race.
And right there, oh so close. And Chris Knox won one race last season, one race of the entire 9-round calendar, 36-race calendar. And it was in round number 1 at Donington. It was race number 2 then. It's race number 4 this week, but it seems like he's got his one win of the season locked up there. So, hey, he at least is going to break even the same week of the season as well, but we'll see if maybe he can add to that number just a little bit. You see the contact in the background there with Silverstone and Holmes, and let's just watch this one more time. In fact, let's watch it in slow-mo here as they come to the start-finish line. This is a good finish.
This is a fantastic finish. I just can't stop and, well, not have a grin in my face while looking at it. Look at how close that is.
And that's the margin of victory for Chris Knox over the number 11 car of Tom Griffiths. Oh, so close there, first and second. But hey, that gives us a chance to go ahead and get ready for some post-race interviews. We haven't had any interviews in a long time with these guys, but it's going to be a lot of fun to hear some of their voices again and talk with some of our favorite drivers of this series, JP. It's been a really good day of racing to kick the season off, and I'm excited to start bringing some drivers in. It looks like we're going to start things off. How about Liam Silverstone, well up in the order, finishing third, podiuming here in the final race of the day, and JP, he's headed your way.
So Liam, at one moment, you were really close between the leaders. Obviously, you moved up, you passed Lee Holmes, but unfortunately, it was only third place. But, I mean, you have to be happy about that, right?
Yeah, you pulled me in at the right time. I was just laughing about, I was happy with it. I'm just lost for words more than else, to be fair. I don't know what to say.
I mean, how's the first round of the season? How were these first four races for you?
So, race 1, P6, working with Sam Smith. Race 2, I was chatting with Andy McEwen. I went, right, I'll catch you in the race. Put the VR on, and my VR went, you're not racing. So, my VR died in that one. Race 3, last to about P11, I think. Me and Sam Smith just literally caught the pack, and race 4, P3. I turned around at Tom and went, I'm not letting you past. And I spun the back wheels up, he come through, and I thought, right, you know what? Let's just see what I can get.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it was a fun race. It was fun seeing you up there. So close to that maiden victory. Do you think it will come this season?
I want to say yeah. I was laughing with Michael Seal because when the entry list went out, I was classed as a pro, and I'm not quicker than the rest of the pro-ams. Anyone can win it. It's a lot closer than what you think. And I've had a good night tonight. The win can come. And if I was pro, I'd be happy. If I'm pro, I'm happy. End of the day, I'm just racing everyone now, if you know what I mean. I want to win a race. Might not happen, but I'm going to try.
Absolutely. And looking towards next week already, Donington Park, how do you rate your chances around there?
Yes. Donington, love it. Always been quick around Donington, no matter what we've been driving. We did touring cars a couple of seasons ago. I was near the bottom, come there, did really well. I've had a couple of podiums there in BSR before, so I'm proper going to have a good go at that one. That's going to be my main aim.
Well, absolutely. Hopefully we can see the first win coming next week. We're definitely going to be cheering out for you, but before we let you go, who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out?
You guys, but I will be talking to you more often through this season. As you know, I love coming and having a chat with you guys. My new team, Excite Simtech, me for doing all the paints, and the rest of the team not knowing how to put the paints on, and the BSR guys for setting everything up.
Oh, absolutely. With that being said, it was a pleasure talking to you again, Liam. Hopefully we can talk to you plenty times throughout the season, and, well, good luck for next week.
Yep, I'll come and speak to you next week after I've won a race. I'll put money on it now.
There we go. That's what we like to hear. So yeah, I'll talk to you next week.
And you.
All right, Andrew, that was Liam Silverstone. Very confident for next week. Hopefully we can talk to him on that, well, on the victory lane, I guess you can say. And, well, we're definitely going to be cheering for him, aren't we?
Absolutely. Liam Silverstone brings a lot of personality to the series, and picking up a big podium today. That's a good way to start the season off just right. Let's bring in now Roger Morton, who finishes a little ways down the order in this fourth and final race, but it was a roller coaster, it looked like, for you out there. Roger, the new result colors on that car, looking very nice, and with a new Pro-Am banner on that car as well. Moving up in the world, how about it?
We might as well go for the challenge, haven't we? Obviously, we moved up to Pro-Am with the TCR, so I thought, well, let's crack on with the Mazdas as well and just go all out and see what we can do. A lot to catch up on, don't get me wrong, but I had some good races actually tonight, definitely.
And it seemed like the racing as a whole today was just really, really good. Top notch, certainly. What is different about this layout of Silverstone, this half of the course, if you will, as opposed to the national half, the half that we ran last season?
It's a lot trickier. Some corners are a bit, I don't know, just a bit. Yeah, it's different. The national, I'm more used to the national. It's the first time I've done this layout, so yeah, it's different, and I like different. It's always good to have something different. Yeah, enjoyed it. Thank you. I hope you lot enjoyed it as well.
Oh, it was fantastic stuff watching you guys go after it, lap in, lap out.
I don't know. I don't know if you saw any of the our Craig and Julian's race. I think it was race 2. I think it was. We had a really good battle pretty much throughout.
Well, and that was the great thing about it, is there were battles all over, and it seems like the battles are only going to continue as, well, looking over the points, you're going to sort out along with some of the guys that you battled with last season, Craig Schill, even, despite being in different classes now, you guys are very close after one round, and you're also battling a bunch of different guys like Liam Silverstone, Jamie Gulliford. What's that going to be like as far as the points go this season?
Yeah, it should be a lot more of a challenge, definitely. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed having the battle with Craig throughout last season, but I'm looking forward to a new challenge. I'm just looking at the points now, and about halfway through, mid-packing the pro-ams at the minute, so definitely a lot more to do, but at the same time, I enjoy a challenge.
And how about this new and improved Result clothing operation? More cars out there. I saw Fiona Siddons and Ollie Ricks and brand new Result clothing Miatas, and of course you got a brand new paint on there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the paint's pretty old, but obviously it's just a bit more of a return to the BSR as a full team. Obviously, I only did a few races last season, but obviously we thought we'll go out, put a team in, and see how we get on, and yeah, we'll do all right. I think overall, eventually we should do all right points wise against the rest of the team. So yeah, we'll have a go. We like having a play.
So round one. So round one in the books then for Roger Morton. Started 24th in that last race, worked up 9 positions, buddy. Congratulations on just some of those battles in the midfield. The inverts certainly were flipping a lot of the field around all at once. It seems like a pretty well fought day, though. What are your thoughts, I guess, to close things out, head to round 2?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next round. I think he's Donny next round, GP. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, definitely. And then another one this way. Then we'll cross the pond to the America circuit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the season, definitely.
So there you go, Roger Morton, now car 592, moving up into Pro-Am, and a pretty good day as well, buddy. Congratulations on some good runs, and we'll see you next time out at Donington Park.
Yeah, mate.
Roger Morton wrapping things up, and JP next up, somebody who's been in the waiting booth for some time and usually is very quick to get there, Fiona Siddons, with, I'm sure, going to be a pretty good outlook on the day.
So Fiona, first round of the season, first 4 races, what are your take on it?
3 races was good, and race 3 didn't finish that one, so enough said about that for now. See what the stewards meeting says about it.
But the rest of the races, the other 3 races were pretty good at, they were treating you pretty good, you can say. How fun was it to be back on the MX-5 battling you with some familiar faces?
It's brilliant. And the updates they did to the Mazda in week 13, it's more fun to drive again now. It slides about a bit.
Absolutely, and obviously we can see on, on the shot right here, you have a new team. Talk us about it.
Yeah, towards the end of last season, there's hardly anybody about in Matthews Logistics, and towards the end of the season, I got the offer to drive for Result. Big thank you to Roger and everybody in the team.
Well, absolutely, and obviously, thinking about next week in Donington, how would you rate your chances? Should we expect, seeing you in the top 10 consistently?
I'm hoping so, yeah. I love Donington Park. I only live like I said before to you, about half an hour away from Donington Park. So looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. This seems like a good excuse to rent out an MX-5 and get some real life practice on it. But absolutely, no, you're definitely going to be rocking around there next week. Cannot wait to see what you can do. But, this was quite a short and quick interview. Hopefully we can talk to you plenty of next week. But before I let you go, who do you have to thank for your results here tonight?
Roger Morton and everybody behind the scenes at the Result Clothing team. They've welcomed me in the team and they're a great bunch of people.
Oh, absolutely. With that being said, Fiona, I'm going to let you focus for next week. Hopefully we can talk to you then, and, well, see ya.
Yeah, see you later. Good to have you back at streaming it for us again.
Absolutely. It's great to have you back on the commentary booth for your interviews again. And, yeah, Andrew, that was Fiona Siddons. Glad to have her back. Obviously, quite a shorter interview than I guess we're kind of used to, but, that's the nature of it. And, well, pretty fun, and, well, sounds pretty confident for next week.
And I love the confidence that each of these drivers bring to the table. They know that these races are quick fire. They know that these races are chaotic and certainly hectic. And they just keep rolling with the punches. I love that about each and every one of these drivers in this series. Yes, there's emotions, but yes, they also know that there's a bigger picture going on than just their race and their issues at that one point in time. And there's always the rest of the whole season to go and get those points back. It was definitely a good day of racing, JP, but we've got to go ahead and start focusing on what's ahead. Later this evening, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, North American Racing League at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps with Porsche Cup cars. We've said it a few times, we've been over these a few times, but I'm really looking forward to these Porsche Cup cars at Spa. I know we've had some kind of crazy races so far this season. Hockenheimring made sense. Daytona and Long Beach, I think, made sense in a way, though they were definitely on the hectic side of things. And then last week at Hungaroring, it was a bit of an interesting combo. I like Spa for these guys. Let them get settled, let them sort out for a week, and just have a lot of room to race. That's what we've got this evening. It's a good chance to just kind of cool down a little bit, even though Spa is still such a tough course.
Absolutely. It's very difficult. It's kind of unforgiving as well in some manners, but I'm pretty sure, both races are going to be absolutely fantastic. The long straightaways will definitely bring out a lot of fuel saving strategies, but also a lot of overtaking opportunities. So I literally cannot wait. It's later today. I mean, it's only a few hours away, but I'm still getting very, very, happy that we're having it today. And yeah, it should be a fantastic race. So many stories actually to tell, Andrew. Could we see, finally the maiden victory of Victor Miranda? Could we see Andre Melchers, shaking away that bad luck that he's been having for the past 3 weeks? Could we see a new winner as well? I mean, so many stories, and, well, it's all going to be answered later today.
And as we talk about, only time will tell. We don't know what's going to happen until it happens, and we can only theorize so much. You're just going to have to tune in 8:30 Eastern to find out exactly how things go down at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, and that is literally in 2 hours and 9 minutes when we go live for that broadcast, so be a quick turnaround here at Pit Stop TV. Then tomorrow evening, Emerson Arden, Devin Zimmerman, they're ready for Atlanta Motor Speedway for round number 5 in the Outlaw Sim Series 2022 season. Next-gen cars have been a lot of fun so far, and they're going to continue to be exactly that this Wednesday evening at 7:30 Eastern at Atlanta. Thursday afternoon/evening, depending on where you're located, it's BSRTC right back here on the shorter international layout of Silverstone. Then, of course, later that evening, it's the North American Racing League GT3 Series from Sebring International Raceway. And even further into the future, JP, if you want to look 5 broadcasts into the future, we've got a brand new series, the MPI Cup Series. Yes, the Max Pappas Innovations Cup Series. That's pretty darn cool. Coming to Pit Stop TV with a partial schedule. We'll be splitting some races between, ourselves and Podium Esports for the rest of the season in 2022, and we're excited to be bringing them to all of you watching along. We kick things off, at least for our portion of the coverage, with Circuit of the Americas this week. So a lot of road racing. That's the way we like it here at Pit Stop TV, at least lately anyways. Love these road courses. And Circuit of the Americas later this week. That's going to be a lot of fun. Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. For today, though, that has been it. JP, do you have any final thoughts? Anything else for us to kind of hit on before we close things out from Silverstone?
I mean, I guess I can just say that I really miss these guys. I really miss the 4-race format, the racing, the battles. It's just so much fun to see the MX-5 and seeing these guys back at it. And Well, we're gonna be back on Thursday, but you know, I cannot wait to see the little MX-5s back racing next week. It just has been a great day of racing, and I mean, we still have a full season ahead. I cannot wait.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun this season. 9 more weeks of racing for the Miatas. Still 10 weeks to go for BSR TC. That kicks off later this week on Thursday at 4 Eastern, 8 p.m. UK. Thanks so much for tuning in this evening. We always appreciate you guys watching along, and we always appreciate the work of the British Sim Racers and everybody else, all of their teammates and everybody putting effort into this series. It's always so much fun. For all of us at Pit Stop TV, myself, Andrew Cardinale IV with JP Costa, alongside this afternoon, and everybody else who makes things happen at the channel, thanks so much again for watching. Thanks for your continued support, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.